Hi, it's Jason. Welcome back to Hardy Brothers Outdoors, and thanks for joining me for the first episode in our Compact Tractor Buyer's Guide series. I got thinking the other day that the snow is starting to melt off. I'm seeing ads for tractors, some sales, and I thought it might be good to provide some input and some guidance on things you want to think about when you buy a tractor. So what I've done is I put together a series, and I haven't decided how long it's going to be, 6 to 10 episodes. Each episode is going to deal with a separate attachment or implement. So the first episode, we're going to talk about the tractor, just the bare bones tractor, but then I'm also going to talk about the front end loader. I'm going to talk about the mid-mount mower, backhoe, rear blade, the tiller, rotary cutter, post hole digger. We've got a number of attachments that I'm going to talk about. For each of those attachments, I'm going to follow a common formula. Each time, I'm going to talk about just some details about the tractor or the attachment. I'm going to talk about the list price and what I think you should pay for it. Give you a list of things to ask the dealer about. It's easy to go in, get excited about the purchase, and not get all the information you need. So I'm going to give you a list of things to talk to the dealer about. I'm also going to talk about safety. Each item that you purchase, there are some safety things you should know, and I want to make sure and share those with you. The last thing is I'm going to give you negotiation tips. For each item that you buy, there are things you should be asking for and discounts you should be trying to get. So that's the formula I'm going to follow. My goal is to keep these videos to 10 to 12 minutes. I think today's is going to be a little bit longer because I'm introducing the video and I'm actually going to talk some about decisions and things you need to think about when you're buying a tractor. If you haven't checked out our channel, a couple things. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you're getting ready to buy a tractor. So we do have a 10 tips, the 10 money saving tips video out there on our website. It's about 20 minutes long. It's got a bunch of tips for negotiating and getting your best price. The other thing is at the end of this video, once episode 2 is available, there'll be a link to it. So you'll be able to go from episode to episode to episode and sit down and binge them if you want to. So let's get started with the question of what tractor do you need. We're just going to focus on the tractor. This is my 2016 1025R, and when I bought it, I was managing a property. It was 25 acres. I had about 2 acres that I needed to mow, and I wanted to be able to till a couple acres to do deer food plots. So 25 acres, I wasn't going to use it on the entire property, but that was what I was getting into. I bought this tractor in 2016, absolutely love it. But it's not the only tractor I own. Between Josh and I, we own the 1025R, the 2032R, and a 4052R. So today I'm going to talk some about the 1025R, but in other episodes we'll talk about the other tractors and some attachments and things related to them. So when you think about picking out a tractor, I just talked about some of the John Deere series. There's a series 1, 2, 3, and 4. When you look at those tractors, there's some basic things you're going to get as you go up in the size of tractor. And if you ask for advice on Facebook or on the internet and you ask people, how big of a tractor do I need? Everybody's going to tell you, buy a size bigger than you think you need. And that's just because, you're not going to be sorry if you bought one that's too big and you have too much power, most likely. But you may regret buying a tractor that's not big enough. So when you think about moving up in tractors, the big things that are going to change as you go from 1, 2, 3, 4 series. First off, you're going to get more horsepower. So, that's kind of an obvious one. The other thing you get is each tractor is going to be bigger and weigh more. It's going to give you some additional ground clearance. What those factors are going to translate to, a heavier tractor, more horsepower, and ground clearance is going to impact things like how much can I lift? If you don't have a heavy enough tractor, there's only so much you can lift with a front end loader. It's also going to impact what attachments and implements you can utilize. And it's not just about PTO power. It's also about the weight of your tractor compared to the weight of the attachments. Consider this tractor, what it weighs, and pulling a hay wagon. The wagon itself may be okay, loaded up with some hay, you're not going to be able to do that. We rented a no-till drill last year, and it weighed what did it weigh? I can't remember the weight, but I do recall we could only use the 4052R with it because it was so big it would push a smaller tractor around. So there's several factors to consider there. So the thing that I recommend when you're thinking about your tractor is really think through the use case. how do you plan on using this tractor? Josh and I did a poll on our YouTube community page. If you haven't checked out our page, check it out and take a look at the community. We got some cool polls out there and a lot of interaction from people. But we asked two things. First, we asked people, how many acres are you managing with your tractor? We had 170 people respond. 46% were managing 5 acres or less. So for a compact tractor, 46% said, I am managing 5 acres or less, which fits right into the market for where John Deere has positioned these tractors. The second thing we asked them was, other than plowing snow, and we took snow out of the equation because we're in the north and there's a lot of people in the south that will never ever move snow with their tractor. So we asked, other than that, what is the activity that you do most with your tractor? 163 votes, 32% said they mow, so 1/3 are mowing, and 39% said they're using the front end loader with the loader, the forks, or a grapple, something along those lines. So think about what your use case is. We've got a lot of use cases, and that's why we've got a number of mowers, or a number of tractors. The use case for the 1025R is very different than the 4052R. That's something you're going to want to think about. One of the things that's going to play into that for you is, what kind of tires do you need? Do you need an ag tire or do you need a lawn tire? If you plan on using this in your yard all the time, chances are you don't need an ag tire. But think it through, talk to your dealer, and make sure you get the right tire. The other thing you need to evaluate as you look at the different series is, do I need the 1023E or the 1025R? Do I need an M series or an R series? So as you look through, take a look at those and decide which model you need. Okay, so because I've got the 1025R here with me today, and so much of our audience is 1025R, or I should say 1 series owners, I'm going to talk about the 1023E versus the 1025R, and I'm only going to spend a couple minutes on this. The biggest things you need to know between those two tractors, and this stuff, I'm not going through all the details. This is all available on John Deere's website, and everything I'm sharing today, I've gathered that information from there. This tractor, again, 2016, so I haven't gone through the buying experience in a while, but I know the steps I went through. So when you look at the 1025R versus the 1023E, the two biggest differences between these tractors are the engine horsepower, which is very small, the PTO horsepower, which has a 3 horsepower difference, and some comfort features. So you get some extra lights, you get a rubber pad here on the floor, you get a little nicer seat. At least when I bought it, those were some of the key things. Go out and compare the features, but there weren't a lot between the 1023 and the 1025. The lift capacity on this and the 1023E is the same. So take a look at the features, make that decision. We're going to move on to price, and what price gets you for the 1023E. The list price on johndeere.com is $13,052. I just saw an ad from a dealer. They're selling it for $10,499. That's about 19% off of the online John Deere list price. So if you don't see that price, $10,499, go in and ask for 19% off. Try to get to that price, because someone's selling it for that, which means there's other dealers out there that can do the same. On the 1025R, it is $15,066 on johndeere.com. If you take 19% off of that, you come in right around $12,000. So use that 19% number when you're negotiating. That's kind of the price range. If you're not going to use the features of the 1025R, you can save a lot of money on the 1023E. And if you're going to be mowing lawns and you don't need that extra 3 horsepower on the PTO, 1023E may be what you need. Okay, let's move on to talking about the things you should talk to the dealer about. The dealer is going to give you the overall pitch on all the specs of this tractor. He's going to walk you through the functions. I've got a few things that I think you should talk to him about. When you look online, you're going to get a mixed bag of information. So talk to your dealer and get answers to some of these questions. First of all, talk to them about the maintenance schedule. What's the break-in period? When should you be doing your first fluid changes? Make sure you understand that. You'll get lots of bad advice online, and your dealer is going to know best what you should do. The people online know the details of their tractor and about someone else's tractor. John Deere has set their maintenance schedules based on what they know from thousands and thousands of tractors. So talk to them about maintenance. Talk to them about, part of maintenance is grease. Ask him to walk you through and show you where all the grease points are on this tractor. Where should I be greasing? And if you've never owned something that you had to grease, have him get out the grease gun, show you how to use it. Have him throw a grease gun in so that you have one to use. Talk to him about fuel additive for winter. I see people talk about that all the time for a diesel tractor, making sure that you put an additive in the fuel so it doesn't gel up. The fact is there's a lot of areas that don't need it, or if you're using diesel fuel that you buy at the local gas station, the local fuel providers are already putting an additive in it and you don't need to add something. So talk to your dealer about that. Find out for your location what you need. Here in Ohio, I feel like we get pretty cold, we get a lot of snow, but when I talked to my dealer, he said, don't worry about it, you're going to be fine. If you're going to be adding a loader, and I'm going to talk about the loader in episode 2, so tune in for that. Ask them if you're worried about stability, should I fill the tires? Should I add weight by filling the tires? Do I need spacers to give me a little wider footprint to make this tractor more stable? And by the way, I don't think this is a tractor that's prone to tipping. I think it's something that users make mistakes and create issues for themselves. So if people are telling you, don't buy this tractor because it's a tip over concern, I'm telling you, I don't think that's the case. So ask those basic questions and get him to guide you along. Go in with a list of questions so that you know things you want to make sure you talk to him about. From there, let's move on to safety. There's a couple things. First of all, the roll bar. This is for rollover protection. Talk to him, make sure you understand when you should use it, how you should use it, whether you should have it all the way up, part way down, whatever the case is. Also ask him, how does the use of the rollover protection fit with the use of the seat belt? Because there are rules that go with how you use the seat belt and how you use the rollover. I'm not going to tell them to you. Talk to the dealer. Ask those questions. He'll explain to you when you use each one. The other thing is the PTO. Most of you that are buying a 1025R have probably never owned a tractor with a PTO. The PTO is something that it will kill you. It will change your life if you don't respect it. Talk to him about PTO safety. Before you buy your first attachment, before you start messing with the PTO, talk to somebody, have them give you a demonstration, have them talk safety about PTO. I'm telling you, it is one of the most dangerous things about this tractor, and one of the things that can get you in trouble the fastest. So have that conversation about the PTO. My basic message for you is don't ever touch that PTO without the tractor turned off. I'm not talking turning it down. I'm not talking in neutral. The PTO turned off, turn the tractor off. That's my one tip for that PTO, but talk to your dealer. He's probably got more tips. So last thing, we're going to move on and talk about negotiation. Every one of these episodes, we're going to talk about negotiation tips. My tip for the base tractor: 1, look online, do all your research, make sure you know your numbers. 2, I believe you can get this tractor for 19% off every day. Go in, offer him 22% off, offer him 25% off, because it's a negotiation. It's a back and forth. So don't go in asking for 19 and think he's going to say yes. Go in and ask for more, negotiate back to 19. If you get it for 17, be happy, you got a great deal. But 19% is a number that I would tell you to ask for. As you're negotiating, ask for maintenance. Ask if I bring my tractor in, if I can transport it here, will you give me my first fuel or my first fluid change for free? Can't do it for free? How about discounted? Can you give me 50% off? Can't do any of those? How about you pick it up for me for free? I'm just down the road. So all kinds of things you can negotiate about that first maintenance. iMatch. I didn't buy it with this tractor. I wish I did. I have it with the 4052R, and once I started using it, I absolutely love it. Ask them to throw in the iMatch. It's not an expensive attachment. I think it retails for around $250, which means their cost is significantly less. Ask them to throw in an iMatch. You're going to be glad you did. And the last thing, don't leave without a hat or shirt, something. You got a new John Deere tractor, you're going to be excited about it, be decked out in the green and yellow John Deere. So I hope those tips were helpful. Watch for episode 2. Episode 2 is going to be the front end loader, going to follow the same format. I'm not going to have quite the intro to it, so we should be able to keep it at 10 to 12 minutes, make it a quick video for you. So take a look. There should be a link here for the next video. Check out episode number 2. Thanks for joining and have a great day.